What if the moon suddenly disappeared? Imagine this, one quiet night, the moon simply vanishes. No explosion, no warning, just gone. The sky is darker than it has ever been, and humanity looks up in confusion. At first, it might not seem catastrophic. After all, it's just the moon, a glowing rock in the sky, right? But within hours, Earth would begin to realize just how much that glowing rock mattered. The moon's gravity is what keeps our planet's oceans in rhythm. Without it, tides would shrink to 1/3 of their current size, controlled only by the sun's much weaker pull. Coastal ecosystems that depend on the constant motion of tides would start collapsing. Many species of crabs, fish, and birds that rely on tidal pools for feeding and breeding would lose their natural clocks. Beaches would grow stagnant. The gentle breathing of the ocean would stop. Within days, the nights would feel disturbingly alien. For billions of years, life evolved under a 29-day rhythm of light and darkness. The lunar cycle. Countless animals, from sea turtles to nocturnal insects, depend on moonlight for navigation. Newly hatched turtles, guided by the glimmer of the moon on the waves, would wander aimlessly. Predators that hunt by moonlight would go hungry. The natural balance of nighttime ecosystems would unravel in eerie silence. Humans, too, would feel the loss more deeply than expected. The moon has been our ancient companion, shaping calendars, stories, and even sleep patterns. Its disappearance would not only confuse poets and astronomers, but subtly disrupt our biological rhythms. Studies show that people sleep differently during full moons. Now, our internal clocks would lose one of their oldest metronomes. A few weeks later, astronomers would begin to notice something else. Earth's tilt, that gentle 23.5-degree lean that gives us seasons, is stabilized by the moon's gravity. Without it, Earth's axis would begin to wobble unpredictably over centuries. Seasons would become chaotic. Winters might turn to scorching summers within decades. Glaciers could melt, then reform elsewhere. Climate patterns that have governed civilization since its birth would turn unreliable. Farmers would have no consistent growing seasons. Humanity might struggle to adapt to a planet whose weather had forgotten its rules. And then there's the psychological effect. Look up at the night sky without the moon, and it feels incomplete, empty. The moon reflects just enough sunlight to make the night familiar, less intimidating. Without it, the stars would seem sharper, colder, more distant. The Milky Way would blaze beautifully but ominously, as though the universe had turned its face toward us without emotion. Streetlights would hum brighter, but the darkness between them would feel deeper. Some people would celebrate. Astronomers, freed from moonlight interference, could observe faint galaxies more clearly. The night sky would belong to them, but for most, the absence would gnaw at something instinctual, a quiet sense of a loneliness, as if Earth had lost its oldest friend. Over centuries, life would adapt. The oceans would find a new equilibrium. Earth's rotation might subtly shift due to the missing gravitational partner, but it wouldn't spin out of control. Days would shorten by a fraction of a second each year, a slow, invisible change. Yet every aspect of life touched by rhythm, from coral spawning to bird migration, would adjust painfully, as if learning to dance without a beat. Perhaps most haunting of all is the silence in space where the moon used to be. For billions of years, it guarded Earth from countless asteroid impacts, absorbing blows meant for us. Without it, the planet would be more exposed, Over millennia, the odds of a major asteroid strike would rise. Not drastically, but enough that someday, somewhere, people might remember the moon not just as a light in the night, but as a shield that once stood between us and extinction. And so, life would continue, but a little dimmer, a little lonelier. Generations born after its disappearance would never know moonlit nights. They would look at paintings and photographs of the old sky and wonder what it felt like. That soft silver glow on their ancestors' faces, the slow dance of light and tide. Humanity would go on, but the world would never feel quite right again. The moon would not explode, nor leave destruction in its wake. Only absence, and in that absence, the earth would discover how much of itself it had taken for granted.